Allie, welcome to Averill Park, New York, and June Farms. One of our members, Matt Baumgartner, who owns this place, June Farms, and Wolf's Beer Garden down in Albany. It's a beautiful place. Great setting to have you out here tonight for our first ever EO Albany podcast. And I appreciate you coming to sit down and talk about your book.
Thank you, John. This is the most beautiful, idyllic place. I thought New Zealand was beautiful, but I think this is up with New Zealand. So thank you, Matt, for giving us this opportunity.
It is beautiful out here. It's very peaceful.
It is.
I can't, you drive out here and you go, where am I going?
I know.
And I live around here and
Do
I go,
you?
where am I going?
It's beautiful.
Tell me about the book. I've read it now 3 times, and I told you that before. And I found it to be incredibly interesting, as I've been trying for the last few years to figure out how I can be better with people and how I can more understand what's going on.
And how to be the very best you. Because that's what happens. A lot of people try to be what they're not. And it's like you're a right-hander, but you take that pen and you try to write with your left hand and you're not as authentic. And so this book, and I have to tell you how I wrote this book. When I was 40, and that was a long time ago, in my home, I've got a wonderful husband, but we see the world differently. He walks and I run. And there was a frustration in the marriage, and usually around 40 there's a lot of frustration in relationship because, you settle into marriage, but you realise this person is really different from me. Wow, there's a little cat coming alongside. Hello, little kitty cat. Sorry. And so what happens is I hear it all the time when I'm travelling. Alison, we're so different in our marriage. The only thing that we've got in common is that we got married on the same day, and that's giving people license to get out of relationships. And at that time when I felt my marriage wasn't on the rocks, it was just tired. I just needed to be invigorated. And I heard a woman speak, and she was from this area, Florence Littauer, and she just opened my eyes to the learning that we are born with personality. It's in our DNA. And if we could understand who we are, we have something more that we need to help each other with, and that is we have a tank, and it needs to be filled. And what I find as I travel around, lots of people have this empty tank. And if we could know how to fill the tank of each other, then we get close to people. We get close in business, we become better leaders, and in families, we find our children and we grow them according to who they are. So when I found this out, I just fell into this. I was working as a first-class lounge manager for Qantas International in New Zealand, and I had no intention of becoming a professional speaker, but this changed and transformed my marriage. So I just knew I had to get out there and share it. And as a speaker, you need to be a writer as well. And so I wrote the book, and it's a bestseller in New Zealand.
Now let me ask you a question. And this is one of the things that struck me as I read it, was treat people the way they want to be treated. And isn't that different than how many of us are brought up, is to treat people the way that we want to be treated?
Well, look, the old ancient writings, what does it say? Do unto others as you would have them do to you. I believe in that. That's being kind and thoughtful and caring. However, I'd like to take that step forward. How do I get into your shoes? And by the way, good shoes. How do I get into your shoes according to the way you see the world? That's when I connect. It's not just giving you what you need, but from my perspective, and that's what was happening in my marriage. I was giving my husband what I thought I needed. But, he needs something else. And when we can define those 4 dominant personalities, then we start to get close.
Tell me what the 4 personalities are and why there aren't 3 or 5 or 6.
Okay. There's patterns in the world. And do you know what? Hippocrates first discovered that we come pre-packaged with a particular frame of reference. And from that, there have been many, many personality profiling systems out there. I like this one because of its simplicity. Look, there's the Myers-Briggs. It breaks it down to 16. But if you had to think through that, it's not as easy. And I tell you what, entrepreneurs love this model. It's easy to understand, easy to use, and on the run. And that's why I think they have valued the message that I've got. There are 4, but you can have blends, John. I'm a playful, peaceful. Shall we talk about the 4 types so
Well,
people will get an understanding?
Absolutely.
So the 4 types are playfuls. Their desire is to have fun. The powerful, their desire is to get things done and their time frame is now. The precise, they want to get it done right. That's what they want more than anything. Their needs are to get it done right. And the peaceful, they want no conflict. And so out of those 4, we can be blends, and that's fine. We can be blends. It's a good thing to be a blend. But it's really coming back again, not to categorize. The intention is not to categorize. The intention here is to, what do you need? How do I speak to that?
Now, I went through. How would you interpret me, first meeting me and just having this conversation
Well,
now?
I have a sense that you're very relational, and yet you are you're meticulous in your dress. And so I'm breaking it down to 2. Playfuls, they're quite extroverted, they're very relational, fun-loving, loud, and like a good time. The precise is different, they're quiet. And I find that people that usually get into media this way, they have this tendency to look, they're the perfectionist type people. So I'm just starting to pull out, you're giving me some clues about who you are, beautifully groomed, and that's your giveaway, is how you put yourself together. Now, I don't know if that's the American culture, but I think you maybe even are powerful, because you've got a great presence about you, and you're short, succinct in your conversation. So let's keep talking, and let's kind of pick out, discover who you are.
I went through, and I wish I knew what page it was on, because I got the book on my Kindle, and they changed the Kindle, so it flows through now, so I can't tell you what page it was on, but I took the test.
Yeah, the test's here.
And mine came back majority peaceful.
Aha! Well, I shot that one in the foot, didn't I? Because I said everyone but majority peaceful, yes?
Yep.
Yeah, well done.
So I was trying to get a handle on what exactly does that mean for me and how I relate. Because I've always had a hard time with those.
Powerfuls. And you usually marry one. Are you married?
I am not.
Have you had relationship with somebody that is a powerful?
I have.
And you see, that's where before marriage or before relationships start, we're attracted to an opposite. And opposites are good for us because it completes us. And this is what I hear so often about people that get tied in their relationship. They just think, I've married somebody so different from me. But that person completes you as you complete them. So going back to the peaceful, this person is a steady, dependable, that you're just a grounded type person. And in fact, let me tell you, in business now, they're recognizing your type to be brilliant leaders because you are not impacted by externals. You don't get ruffled. You just ride those tough times. Resilience is very strong in you. People are drawn to you because you're believable. You don't live in the hype. And this is what we need to be hearing about, what we're good at. Every type has a fantastic strength. And if we could identify those strengths as parents, as business owners, as partners, then we've got the winning formula.
You had a quote in the book that I liked a lot, and I'd never heard it before. It says, "You'll never know till you try to reach them how accessible people are, but you must approach each person from the right door."
Yeah. And do you know where that's from? In the 18 Pilgrim Fathers that left England to come over to America. I just think that's fantastic, and it's true. Let's go through the door. Now that I know that you're peaceful, I can now communicate with you because you like reflection. You love to draw out people. You are the funniest person on the planet, but we might have to wait 17 years
I
for
keep
that
telling
funny.
Derek that.
Yeah. So because of that, people are drawn to you. You're so loyal. You're credible. And that's what we need to learn about each other. I think peacefuls get the rawest deal because you're the gentle listener. People can come away from dinner parties and they'll just say, oh my goodness, wasn't John just so lovely? Why was John lovely? Because you draw people out. It's not important that you get the accolade and you get the presence there. That's not important to you. More important is, did I really connect with you? So you probably relate better to all personalities than any other type. The peaceful does that.
The hardest one I have with is the powerful.
Yes, of course.
If I deal with too many powerfuls in one day,
Yeah, it's draining.
it is draining.
Yeah.
And I'll go home and just,
Yeah. And I'll tell you why, John. Because you want to be known as the human being. They want to be known as the human machine. They are the doers of life. And you can do, but you don't have to do like gung-ho, get things done. And so they're focusing on how results, bottom line, outcomes. Your focus isn't there. Yours is collaboration and inclusiveness. That's really important to you. So we see the world differently. If we could understand those differences, that's when we start to get things happening.
from a business perspective, you go into some depth about having a balanced team. What
Yes.
does that mean?
Peter Drucker said it so well. He just said, and Peter Drucker was the organizational guru. He's written lots of books. He said, in every organization, we need a people person, a thought person, a steady person, and an action person. So those are the four personalities. What does a playful bring to the table? Innovation, ideas, creativity. What does the powerful bring? Focus and assertion, getting the job done, getting it completed, big picture, vision. What does the precise bring? They bring method, structure, compliance, the rules. We need those people on the team. And what does the peaceful bring? They bring clarity. They sit, they think, they mull over things. And so those four types, when you bring a team together that is very different, you can get better outcomes.
Let me ask you this. Closing out the first part of the book, you say don't immediately categorize people. Sit back and try to take in,
Yes.
as opposed to,
Yeah. Be a predictor of their behavior. Look at their behavior, look at their traits. So what do you look for? I look for those that are out there loud. They'll either be a powerful or a playful. If they're quiet and methodical or they assess, I would say they're either precise, peaceful. So I'm actually a process of elimination, okay? So you're not loud, you're just gentle and you're reflective. So then I play with that. So I have this, life becomes so enjoyable. I'm in airports all the time. I'm watching people and I just laugh because I think, oh, I can see that. There's a powerful going hard at their wives or something. So yeah, it's the process of elimination.
so as somebody hears you, what's the one thing you want them to remember from?
Can I tell you a quote? It says, it's not our differences that divide us. It's our inability to celebrate and respect our differences. This is about respect. This is about inclusiveness. This is about how we can get close. So that's the one thing that I know. I know this works. I've been 49 years in a marriage because this is the tool that's kept me close.
Well, Allie, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to hearing the whole full talk tonight.
Oh, good.
And love to have more people involved with our Albany EO chapter. We have tremendous speakers like you on a regular basis. So find out more about EO.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me, Albany. I'm just so excited to be here. Thank you.
Thrilled to have you. Thank you, Allie.